I'm always indecisive as to where I would place video games along other arts fairly. Video games are obviously one of the more recently manifested forms of art since they've only been around for less than 40 years or so. And I often ask myself why I like them as much as I do, especially when a lot of the time I depress myself because the older I get, coming from a 2-year-old, the more cynical I am, and I realize that a lot of the time I can't enjoy a game for some stupid reason or another. Even though when I was little, playing new games was my biggest dream because I'm a simple-minded child and can't think of anything better than he wants to do with his life than be a mindless consumer! If you've been on the internet, which you probably haven't, you know that the easy stereotype is that the average gamer is an antisocial teenage boy? Oh, look who that's coming from, oh god. But the truth is that millions of men and women, the other 23,006,563 genders, parents, and celestial beings, young, old, and middle-aged, play games nearly every day. The game industry, the game industry is large, and it's gonna keep growing until it actually physically implodes. Basically, pick a game, and chances are hundreds or even thousands of people worked really hard in crafting a coherent experience. From the art to the soundtrack to the gameplay to the story and 5,000 other things, games are really not easy to make. And I know that firsthand. Games also cost a lot of money. You probably already know that Destiny costed around $500 million to make and advertise. But despite prevalence in building up a giant industry behind them, video games are usually considered to be casual and even demeaning entertainment. What it looks like to me is anyone passionate about gaming has better things to do than just openly stroll into arguments about who has the bigger ego. Sorry, about whether games qualify as art. Except I'm wrong. Deathly wrong. I bet you that two people on the internet screaming at each other about games as art probably ended up in one of them becoming a physical serial killer and killing the other one and sacrificing them alongside 50 chickens. The concept of art isn't like a room of things that exist that are art. It's more like an ideal. I mean, it's all subjective, but personally, I play them, so I think games can be art depending on the efforts and ideas put into that certain game. Tons of video games are definitely in the same category when it comes to the ideals and kind of morality behind the purpose of itself. Those games would most definitely be corporate entertainment created just with the main intent of making a lot of money. So basically, cash grabs. Just look at my content. Sorry. Anyways, in that space, it's arguable whether or not some games surpass that creative limit that corporate creations hold up. Now, you and I can both agree that some of those games succeed as works of art in some form or another. Whether it be an inspired soundtrack that carries fluidity or a stripped-back narrative experience. Even a team of developers dedicated to making the game they want, not the game that their publisher once pushed out. Could all be determining factors in the intensely bleak scale that determines whether whatever trash it is qualifies as art or not. People who don't believe in narratives and art in games might think, if I really wanted to explore the morality and consequences of objectivism, there'd be better and more sophisticated places to look. But obviously that's disagreeable, boys. Now, of course, whoa, subjectivity is in play. But games have been a sort of obligatory enjoyment outlet for years and years. If you don't know many games that are coming out as of right now, chances are you can think of an older game that was universally known for shaping the industry and basically just being pure fun for millions of players. And even with half a brain cell plus me, because I only have a quarter of a brain cell, but I get by just fine because I can realize that games have evolved. Oh god, no way, I can't believe, what? What? We went from Pong and Pac-Man all the way to peeling away the petty limits of technology, so now creativity is the only limit. Of course, that means that if games aren't held back as much by technology, something else will come along now that hardware is out of the way. And what could it be? What holds video games up against a wall in middle school screaming for its lunch money? Oh god, you already know. Violence. Oh, let me put it this way. Violence or vulgar entertainment objectively can have a point. A movie or TV show can have the tenacity to tell an intriguing narrative whether it does or does not have, for instance, a character getting injured or killed or having the weight of a scene be carried by hardcore vulgarity. The mentality varies, but the thing that seems to be constant in a lot of opinions about gaming is that violence is just a sort of commodity. Thinking that is almost always a double standard mentality. Movies and TV are totally acceptable, but since games started out humbly as kid-friendly without a rating system to ground them, many people believe that games shouldn't have the right to have mature content in them, even though in 1994 the ESRB was founded because Mortal Kombat was a bit too edgy. So now all games have a rating, but some people can't get over the fact the games are reaching for new heights, man. Countless times people have brought up the violence card, saying the video games cause violence, but oh, look at me, I'm entitled. I'm using petty information that was on the internet. The ultra-scientific tests show that unless you're an actual psychopath, saying video games cause violence is like saying movies do too. If someone's mentally unstable, sure, a video game could cause violence and they could try to mimic what they see on screen, but in their case, any entertainment that's impressionable could have the same effects. So violence is out of the picture, at least subjectively from my point of view. I'm trying to be open-minded about the situation. I can understand making a ruckus about games being vague on whether they're kid-friendly or not, but there's a rating system for a reason. As long as the guardian or parent monitors what their child plays like they probably do with their intake of TV shows and movies, there's no reason why games shouldn't shoot for the stars. And that's just what they do. I hope that was inspirational. So games are different than other forms of entertainment. Instead of being strapped down with a scripted outcome with a definite start and end, games hold their own being experiences and sometimes even unscripted experience, because there's that surreal sense of contributing to a plot or a grand scale of whatever trash is going on. I mean, depending on the type of game, you can play a game and not get the same type of experience as someone else. Solving a puzzle a different way, finding an underground passage into a castle instead of walking straight in the front, making choices that weigh in the outcome of the narrative, welcoming Kagan with open arms or politely piercing his heart with a sharp blade. Video games are objectively a lottery, and it's a large industry. It's really hard to tell what kind of product you're gonna get from looking at a trailer or a demo, whether it's just a cash-in, like my content, or a true crafted experience tailored for you to have maximum enjoyment or even be impacted. Point is, games can be what they want as long as we don't take away that right, which Donald Trump is trying to do. Right! Leave a comment and give me attention because I made a topical joke. Bye! Okay, but seriously, thank you for watching this. This was a trash video that I decided to write, and I wanted to do it for no reason in particular. If you have any input for me, or think I'm a terrible person, or think this was too much of an energetic video, you can just let me know. And really, do leave a comment, because I put a lot of effort into this. I wrote a script for like a week or 2 weeks straight, and kind of just messing around, and that's what I'm doing with my videos now. I'm scripting them out. I'm trying to make them more comedic and in a trash way. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good Christmas, because that's what it is around this time. Okay, have a good day. Bye!